a
van.
truck. We're fucking 60 stories in the air.
The Weazel News van down there. We got our own satellite up there.
Bro, you got people asking to be FIB. Look at this.
Yeah, look at the fucking story of my life, dude. Jesus Christ.
Make me an FIB agent. Oh, man.
We live? We're not live yet. Dude, just turn the fucking on switch, man. What are you doing?
Yeah, literally, right? That's why we don't let children in charge of electronics.
All right.
There we go.
Checking.
It's up.
All right. This is Benny Bernardino with Weazel News investigative team here live coming at you here in Lucid City. You know, we've been having a developing story going on regarding last night's raids here in the city where lots of people were affected. We've heard from the Crims, we've heard from PD. But now it's time for you, Lucid City, to be able to hear from the man, the myth, the guy behind all this information, Trigger Trey. Trey, how you doing tonight, bud?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing, Uncle Benny?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. First off, I want to thank you for the exclusive interview and for taking some time to talk to Weazel News. I know that this is a big deal, and I know this was a big operation that took a lot of effort.
Absolutely, absolutely. Great work from obviously all of LCPD, all of FIB. It's a great sting operation from the go. I mean, it's been going on for quite a while. It's time for me to come home, and I mean, I just kudos to everybody involved.
Hey, absolutely. I mean, an investigation like this, there's been rumors in the past about you cooperating with the cops, but obviously not enough to keep these organizations away from you, right? I mean, these guys have heard rumors about you, and partially some of the things that we've been hearing in our interviews today is that it kind of falls back on them, that for being, such open arms to just anybody. Next thing they know, they got somebody in their organization who may be working for the feds. I mean, a 4-month-long operation is kind of what we've been hearing, and that's a long time to be embedded within any unit.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, being undercover for that long, it does take a drive on you. There's always going to be suspicion. There's always going to be, people looking over their shoulder when operations like this go down. Obviously not enough at this case. I'd like to thank the chief for almost blowing the whole fucking operation on the movie theater. But at the end of the day, obviously that didn't go a long way. And
Yeah.
At the end of the day, nobody can blame anybody but themselves. I mean, to be this trusting with this trusting arms, I understand there's resentment, there's hatred, but you got to think, man. I mean, they knew. Like, I mean, the cat was out of the bag. They just didn't want to accept the truth at the end of the day.
Yeah, so, I think you made a great point there, and kind of touching base on something you mentioned was back there at the cinema. That's something we all a lot of us were a part of. A lot of us saw that unfold live, and, we saw it down at the cinema. For those of you back at home that don't know what we're talking about, at the movie theater, they played a footage of allegedly Trey and, who was it? One of the Gambinos, if I'm not mistaken.
Paulie Gambino.
Yeah, Paulie Gambino. We're on camera, and they apparently cooperate with authorities. Now, what everybody did with that information was up to them, but apparently, like I said, it wasn't enough to stop this from unfolding. So, Trey, what was one of your big motivations? I know that the city, some will say maybe is a safer place now. We got, I think a count of 52 AKs off the street. And, I mean, what is your message for some of those families out there that might have been affected by this?
I can't disclose anything that was retrieved in the raids. I can say it was a massive win for everybody involved in the operation. My message to the families out there is, I'm just hoping more or less that they've learned from this. You can't trust everybody you meet. You've got to move smarter. The city's not somewhere where we glorify criminals at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I think that's huge. There's a lot more to do in this city than just being a criminal, and I think it really comes down to people that are in a race just for that quantity over quality, and they just rather have as many guys as they can get. Next thing they know, they're overlooking a possible agent. So, it's definitely something to think about, guys. You people out there watching is, be careful who you're trusting. And, at the end of the day, you just never know. Trey, I understand AOD was one of the big families that was affected by this. That was one of the big infiltrations that took part in this operation. Was there any other families that, may be a part of the public information of this case that you can disclose that were also involved?
I currently am not at liberty to disclose any information on any families that were or were not involved. But I will say this: I mean, as seen from the citywide reaction, I think it's safe to say that everybody was affected a little bit.
Yeah. And I mean, are you worried yourself? You know, a guy like you, right? You're doing a big operation like this. You're kind of a local celebrity at the moment, whether or not it's a good or bad celebrity. So, I mean, how do you feel? I know you going to sleep last night, waking up this morning. I mean, it seems you put your pants on the same way still, so not much else has
Yeah.
changed. I mean,
I
how do
will
you
say
feel?
this. I will say this. Last night, slept like an absolute baby. Leading up to the operation, there were some sleepless nights involved, but at the end of the day, the oath was taken, and I stand by that oath.
Absolutely. Well, Trey, again, we appreciate you taking some time to meet with us, and you back home. I hope you guys got the answers that you guys wanted to hear, maybe some closure for those of you that might have been affected. And at the end of the day, the guy's just doing his job, and just like everybody's doing their own gig out there, he's got a job to do himself. But other than that, guys, Benny Bernardino, Weazel News, your local station. All right, cut. Hey, appreciate